Yo, 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 what's up? This is John from Judge University, girls in the peach capital of the state, baby, boys and girls. What's up, Nathan? Got a little tube oil. Gotta put a little oil on the tube. Merry Christmas, Nathan. Merry Christmas. Man, this thing's been like this since day one. Hey, Nathan, this thing has been like this since I bought this thing. That's the way it's been since day one. Look at that right there, that swivel. Look at that swivel. Yeah, that's that thing right there. It's nice. What's up, Stevie from England? Well, I guess I don't know. What's up, Stevie? Hey, I seen this thing. Are you looking to prime? Yeah, try. Yeah, Nathan. Tomorrow it says it's gonna be 72. So I'm trying to get everything buttoned up today. And I really ain't gonna go full throttle today, but I am gonna try to stay on point. But tomorrow I'm gonna try to get everything primed tomorrow. It's supposed to be 72 degrees tomorrow. It's warmer outside than it is in the shop. I got the door open, letting it blow some fresh air in here to warm it up a little bit. It was 42 in the shop this morning, and it was 64 outside. Yeah, well, I'm gonna prime it regardless. I just don't want to turn the heat on. Got to do a little bit of fitment work. I don't know if I want to paint these black or paint these the engine bay color. But anyways, so this right here goes right here. So let me show you. What's up, Mendez? Or Mendoza? Mendoza, what's up? All right, so that's where these go right here. And you see right here, before I had to do a little bit of hammering right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this. That goes right there, right? So a lot of people, you can do these two ways. A lot of people cut this out and then they weld this in. And then so you can bolt it in or weld it in. So this guy wanted to bolt his in, so that's okay. So we're gonna bolt it in, and this is the new latch mechanism. But right here, you know, it's pretty tight right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim that ear off right there. And then I had to hammer this down just a little bit when I installed these a while back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim this edge out, you know, just a little bit, and then we're gonna put a little bit of fiberglass filler right here, just a smidgen, and then we're going to come back and we're going to sand it. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, a lot of people weld them in, which is fine, but then to get to the lock, you have to come in here and do all this. You're still going to have to come in here to unhook the latch, you know, the rods. But if you take those bolts out, you can literally take that out and you can service it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna trim this edge right here. What's up, Carolina? What's up, Ricky TS? So we're gonna trim this edge right here just a little bit, so it kind of clears that up just a little bit, and then we're gonna fix that in there. But this door is just about ready. That door, I got to do the same thing to that door, so the doors will be ready to go. Like I said, so we're going to take this over here on the table. We're going to take this over here on the table. And, yeah, so they're nice. I like them. So this is that kit that I showed y'all in the, that's the kit that I showed you boys and girls in the magazine. Look. Watching the train. Y'all remember yesterday I showed y'all what kit that was? So that is these door at the junction. It's these right here. The Ultimate Easy Door Latch kits right here. That's the kit right there. That's what this is right here, and right there. So that's the latch kit. What's up, you? That's funny. What's up, President? Oh, yeah, that show right there. Yeah, I like that show too. All right, so we're gonna trim this out just a little bit. And you know the funny thing about it is, if you didn't, well, if you that show actually goes to Hooterville, which is Green Acres, which is kind of funny too. So, kind of goes right back over to Green Acres. It ain't gonna take much. What's up, Scoot? Mary what? Mary Chrysler. What? What is that? Let me get off from under that light. Hold on. I'm trying to get y'all out of that light. There we go. That's better. All right, Scoot, be safe. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do too. But y'all know the routine. Y'all know the routine. What's up, 87? All right, y'all see that right there? That. Let me go turn this thing down. All right, let's check this out. So here's them latches. So we kind of radius that. Y'all see that right there? Now we radiused it. We took a little bit off of it so it's not touching right there. All right. So now it's not touching. So we trim that out just a little bit. So now what we'll do is we'll just clean this up a little bit. We'll get I was going to use some fiberglass filler, but we'll probably just use some 3M filler. I don't know, we might use some glaze, fiberglass glaze, and glaze into that. So that's pretty rough right there. And then that part will be done, and then I can sand it, and then I can clean up all these edges around here like that. So that one's good on this one. I looked at the seam sealer last night. I do have some 2K seam sealer. I think I might have enough for the doors, but I don't have enough for the cab. Now there's two different types of seam sealer. Well, there's all kinds of seam sealer, but what I use is this right here. This is the seam sealer that I use. So you got bare metal seam sealer, which is 80310. Now I don't put seam sealer over bare metal, even though it says it's got corrosion inhibitor technology in it. I still don't put it over bare metal. And then you got self-leveling seam sealer, which is 803307. Now I use this if you had pinch welds, or not pinch welds, but drip rails. So for everybody on these cars and trucks that's got drip rails, like if you still got your drip rail on your car, on your truck, you can take this self-leveling seam sealer and you can fill it in, your seam sealer. I would do it all the way to about right here, and I would stop. I wouldn't run the self-leveling here because it's just gonna run, and it's gonna run right on the floor. So I would probably stop about right there. I'd put me a piece of tape right there to keep it, and then I would just draw me like you make like doing cake decoration. Just draw you a back and forth with your seam sealer all the way around. And being that this is self-leveling, gravity is going to help you, and this will level out. And then you won't have to worry about going in there and wiping it with your finger. Then once that's good and dry, then from here down your pinch weld, or your gap, or your pinch weld, or your whatever you want to call it, from here to here, you can use the other seam sealer, and you can run you a bead and then put you a glove on and put you some thinner and tape it up on two sides so you got a nice sharp crisp edge. Run a piece of tape, and then run a piece of tape, and then run your seam sealer down, and then put you on a glove and wipe your finger in some thinner. After about 5 minutes, see right here, you got 8-minute work time, right? So that's at 70 degrees. So at 5 minutes, I would come back with my finger wet with some solvents, some acetone or some thinner, and I would lightly just rub the tops of that seam sealer down until it's a nice smooth edge, if that's what you wanted. Now, factory seam sealer is not flat. They just put it on there and you can look. It'll be 2-3 inches wide. Also, there's no need in seam sealer on this cab because the pinch welds has already been welded up solid, right? So that's that. But like coming around on the doors, all this has to get seam sealer. Every bit of this has to get seam sealer. So after this thing gets, and final primer, you have to take the, not self-leveling, the regular, the 803110. You come back with it and take your gun, take your little applicator, and fill in your seam sealer. See, that's a crack, right? Now, you can weld that up if you want to, but that ain't that type of party. So you fill that in with seam sealer. I mean, all of it, all the way around, this whole pinch weld. You fill it in with seam sealer. You put seam sealer in that crack right there, all the way around the whole perimeter of this door. You have to run some seam sealer, right? And then once this right here, let's see, I think it's the same. Yeah, no, actually I told you, it's 6 minutes. So this is at 6 minutes. So by the time you go around, let's say I start right here and I go all the way around the door, I can come back around here with my finger, with a glove on, and dip my finger in acetone or reducer. If you do it in thinner, it's gonna eat the glove if you got a cheap glove. But if you use like reducer, dip your finger in reducer and then come in here and just lightly put pressure on your finger and go over the whole seam sealer. You see that between that and that? If I put my finger across there, you see I got like maybe a 1/16 of an inch between my fingertip and that metal. Well, if you come in right here and you just run your finger like this all the way across like that, what that's gonna do is that's gonna level out that seam sealer where it's a nice uniform section. Now, you don't have to do that. If you just want to run a bead all the way around there and leave it, you can leave it. I mean, it wasn't smooth out at factory, but if you want it smoothed out, all you gotta do is just take your finger, dip it in some reducer, and go all the way around and smooth it out and just clean your edges. All right, so in 15 minutes, you can put paint on it, and 1 hour is completely cured. So if I seam seal the doors, so when I epoxy them, or high build primer, 2K epoxy high build primer, when I prime these again for the final prime, and I sand them with 400 and get them ready for paint, what I'll do right before I paint these is I'll go around and I'll seam seal everything and I'll be done. And then in 6 minutes, you got a 6-minute work time at 70 degrees. In 15 minutes, you can paint over it, and in 1 hour, it's cured. And then we'll be good to go. So maybe that'll help somebody out. Don't use liquid nail. If you're gonna use seam sealer that's in a caulking can or like a caulking tube, don't use it on the outside stuff. If you're gonna use it like in your trunk pans or inside the car, your floor pans on the inside or in the trunk or something like that. I don't recommend using a 1K product that's going to get exposed to the weather. And this is a 2K product, and this stuff right here is about $80 a container. I looked last night to kind of see if I can find some, and you can get it in beige, white, clear, and black. And then the applicator, the gun that actually puts this on is a couple $100. So it takes a special gun from 3M. Now, 3M and Sims is the same thing. So if you bought Sims seam sealer, it would work in a 3M applicator gun because 3M owns Sims. So they make it where so you don't have to buy 3M, you can get Sims, SEMs, and you can get that. So don't skimp out on seam sealer. If it's going to be exposed to the weather, and see, this will be exposed to the weather, like washing it, rain, and stuff like that. If you're doing floor pans, that's covered, the inside of the floor pans, not underneath, but inside. If you had to use that Napa brand or whatever, the seam sealer that's in the caulking tube, that's just like regular caulking, and it says seam sealer, it looks like liquid nail. I know a guy right now. What's up, Classic? I know a guy right now that uses liquid nail. He uses liquid nail for seam sealer. He's been using it for decades. And he says it's the same. He said he don't have no problems with it. I'm not using liquid nail on somebody's car. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it. If you want to use liquid nail on yours, Gorilla, whatever, go ahead and do whatever you got to do. This is the seam sealer that I use. It's either 3M or Sims. Now I don't put it over bare metal. even though it says it's got corrosion inhibit technology, I would not put this over bare metal. I just wouldn't do it. I'll 2K epoxy this door in final primer, and once everything is final primed and everything is final sand, I will come back around and I will seam seal everything, and then I'll dip my finger in reducer and I'll come back and I'll just smooth it out really, really, really nice where it's a nice transition. Because this is the door, you know, this is gonna be open and closing, open and closing. So you're gonna be able to see this. So you want all this nice and finished and slick. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it ain't no lie. I mean, it ain't no lie. Here's the applicator. So here's the applicator, and then we're gonna get to it. So right here it is. Here's the applicator, 08571. This is the applicator that you need to put this stuff on, and a Sims container will fit in that as well, right? So like I said, self-leveling, use that on your drip rails, right? Self-leveling, like on your cars and your trucks, do your self-leveling up here and you don't have to swipe it with your finger. The gravity will do it, but don't do it no further than right here. Because if you go self-leveling all the way around, that shit's gonna do like this right here and it's just gonna run and drip. Now, I can do it from here to here, and I'm okay with it because I know how this stuff works. But if you're new to this, don't run self-leveling seam sealer all the way around your drip rails on your cars and trucks, because what's going to happen, the gravity is going to make it fall, and next thing you know, you're going to have seam sealer on the side of your vehicle. Now, you can get it up, but it's just unwanted. Now, this truck doesn't have drip rails. This client here wanted me to shave all the drip rails off. So there is no drip rails on this truck, absolutely zero drip rails. And that's what he wanted me to do. And I think it's a very good custom feature. And if anybody out there has got a C10 truck you want me to shave the drip rails off of, hit me up. I'll cut them off for you and I'll weld them up. It's all welded in, all body worked, very, very light filler work. It's all welded, none of that fiberglass, Bondo. Bondo's a brand. This was not cut and then filled in with fiberglass mat, mesh, and resin. This was welded. It was welded up. So that's that. That's being said. Now, let's get back to this. So these are the door latches. These are the new door latches for the C10. We went with a little modern door latch, and we trimmed this a little bit, so we're gonna have to clean this up a little bit. And we're gonna put a little bit of fiberglass glaze right there where this thing's been hammered, right? Where that thing's been hammered in. So we're gonna fix that and we trim that. So with that being said, let's get it. So let's get it. I'm gonna take a little bit of 80. Now, with fiberglass, you can put fiberglass over bare metal. Body filler, I wouldn't put over bare metal. But fiberglass, you can put over bare metal. Just gonna clean this up a little bit. We're trying to get everything ready because tomorrow is supposed to be over 70 some degrees tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 72 tomorrow. Fat man gonna be in a damn bathing suit coming by tomorrow, ain't he? Like I said, we're gonna clean this up just a little bit, and then we're gonna slick that out. Now, a lot of people wouldn't do this. They would just high build it and be done with it, and that's okay. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But this client here, he wants the door jambs nice. He wants them nice and slick. So that's what we're going to do. Like I said, that's what we're going to do, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's not going to take much. Not very much at all. So, look, y'all hang tight. Let me see if I got some all right, let's come over here. Y'all remember I told y'all about the plate warmer? Look at this. What I tell y'all about this? What I tell y'all about it? Remember I told you that? This thing's been on here for 3 or 4 days. And I flip it upside down and leave it on there. So this is what we're gonna use right here. And Bondo is a brand, 3M is a brand. 3M owns Bondo, just to let y'all know. 3M owns Bondo. Normally I would weigh this out. I'd put it on a scale right over there and I'd weigh it out. But I'm not gonna weigh it out because I don't need to. We ain't even gonna need a daggone spoonful. And see, by being that we put this on the warmer, this stuff is warm, so you can work it, right? Even though I flip it upside down, I used to have a paint shaker here in the shop. I need to get another one, right? And shake up. I'd put this stuff on a shaker and shake it up. And a lot of people's like, oh, when you shake up body filler, you're putting air bubbles in it. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. So you mix it up real good. I need a metal spatula is what I need to. You know what I need to do is, when they send a new part for my boy's daggone plasma table, it's supposed to be here today. We'll see. I need to cut some metal sticks. Like I said, it ain't gonna take that much. Make sure you seal them up good. And then when you got your hardener, you need to knead. K-N-E-A-D, knead. You need to knead your hardener. Because what happens is the resin and the hardener separate. So you just need your cream hardener, you need to knead it. Hey, have y'all ever noticed, has anybody ever noticed you've lost a lot of weight? What do you mean, Anonymous? You think I lost some weight, Anonymous? You know, some people say, man, you're the problem, and then you remove yourself from the problem and they still got the same problems they had and you're not even there. Well, I appreciate you noticing, Anonymous. I have stopped drinking Red Bulls. Yes, well, yeah. I've stopped drinking caffeine. I've stopped drinking Red Bulls, Monsters, energy drinks. September, I put down the energy drinks. So I hadn't had any caffeine or any soft drinks or energy drinks since September. All right, so we got that kneaded, right? Now it's not gonna take much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put just a little dab, just a dab. Now. So I'm just gonna do. So I got a little dab right there. So we're not going to mix it right now because I don't want to mess up my my time. Now normally I would weigh it out on the scale. If I was doing a lot of filler, I'd weigh it out on the scale. But since I'm not weighing it out, since I'm not doing a lot, we're just gonna do it by eyeball. No, I ain't trying to impress nobody. I ain't trying to impress nobody. I ain't trying to impress nobody. What's up, Austin? Goddamn hangnail. Oh, yeah. All right. So we're going to use this right here. And we're just going to take this paint stick and we're just going to. And somebody's probably going to say, oh, you're going to put air bubbles in that. You're going to put air bubbles in that. You're going to put air bubbles in that. So that's good mixed up, right? So I'm going to lay that down. Then I'm going to take my little spreader right here. And that right there will get all the gnarly shit out of it. And that right there is going to get all the air bubbles out. That right there will get all the air bubbles out. Now, if it was super hot, this shit would already be hard. But it's not. So we got a little bit of time. That's good and mixed, right? Now, here's something crazy. I'm not going to be able to get that in there where I want to get it, right? I want to get that in there right there. Well, I'm not going to be able to get that in there with that, but I tell you where I am going to get it with my finger. You can use a paintbrush too. Paintbrush works good too. Like I said, I only need, now, the slicker you get it, the easier it's going to be to sand. Now, I just need to address that right there. That's all I need to address right there, right? That's the only one. That's the only one I need to address right there. So there's a couple of spots up here I need to address that I don't, oh shit, turn around. There's a couple of places right here that I don't like. I need to address, like right there. And then there's a couple of places right over here that I need to address. Just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Now that's gonna be covered up by that hinge, but I still, somebody's gonna say, well, if it's gonna be covered up by that hinge, then why are you fixing it? Well, I'm fixing it because if you ever take the hinge off, you would see the ugliness underneath it. So that's what I'm doing, right? Again, you wanna make sure everything's good and flat. So that's that. Now, see, I still got a little bit left. Now's the time to look and see if I got anything that I don't like. Because see, I got a little bit left right there. We'll just... So we didn't waste that much. We didn't waste much. Maybe a Hershey Kiss. Maybe a Hershey Kiss amount. Not much. Not much at all. There's 4 little spot welds right there. I covered them up. So, now, you go ahead and get it off your finger before it dries. All good in the neighborhood. Now, if I had a UV light, I could set the UV light up and that would be dry in just a few minutes. If I had a heat gun, my heat gun broke, I hadn't picked up another one. I could take the heat gun and I could just kind of heat it up a little bit and it would dry, but that's okay. We got other stuff we can do while that's doing what it's doing. And we can move right on to the next phase. All right, so check this out. Yeah, no religion, no politics. Everybody be respectful. Yeah, anonymous. Anonymous. It wasn't nothing directed towards you, man. It was just Nathan. Nathan was just saying, anonymous. Anonymous. It's okay. Nathan was just saying, no religion, no politics. Be respectful. That's all he's doing. It ain't got nothing towards you. He was just reminding everybody in the chat. I didn't talk about politics. I don't even know what that is. It's all good, anonymous. Fox. I don't even know what that is. XRB. What? Fox. What's up? What's up? So we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of this sanding on the bottom of this. So when that gets dry, it probably won't be on this live, but when that's dry, we'll finish that and we'll go from there. Y'all hold on a second. I'm gonna show you. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. That's what it is. It's great value, orange blast, drink mix, sugar-free, caffeine-free, low calorie, high in vitamin C. What's up, big dog?
What's up, man?
What's up, player?
This is
What's up, baby?
domain.
Hey, I'm live now, so don't say nothing you don't want nobody to hear.
Oh, I got you, man.
You good?
Yes,
You
sir,
good?
yes,
You
sir.
want to see? You remember?
Yeah. Hey,
Look, this is my guy right here. He's always hooking me up with these
one and
Christmas.
only, the one and only. Y'all
Yeah.
follow me, Chulo Bryant.
Oh, hold on a second now. Do it again. Do it again.
Chulo Bryant. Y'all follow me on IG, Snapchat, whatever.
Y'all see that?
Yeah, I make music too.
Spell it for him.
CHULOBRYANT.
And you on YouTube, Snap?
YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram.
That's what's up.
What else?
Yeah, he's always taking care of him. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Be safe. Merry Christmas, man. Watch out for them crazies, man.
Come on, man.
Hey.
Hey, I'm gonna be out there with the crazy.
Hey, keep it in between the lines. Hey, don't do nothing I won't do. If you did, name it after me. See it now. Have a good one, baby. All right, so let's see what we got. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Oh. All right, so look. This is what this is. That is what I'm drinking. BRB. Be right back getting a haircut. All right. All right, let's get back to it. Now I got this door sitting on a piece of carpet. Oh yeah, we good shape now. All right, we're gonna shape it. We're gonna shape this with 80, and then we'll finish it up with 180. A lot of people let their filler get out of their work window, and then they try to work it, and then they complain that, oh man, it's just like sanding concrete. It has a work window, a work time. So once it gets to where you can sand it to dust, that's the work time. So you need to get after it. All right, I went from 80 grit to 180. It's a 68 C10. What is your favorite part of the car build process? It's paint. All 4307. I don't know. I can't. I normally just do all paint and body, metal work, metal repair, stuff like that. But here lately, I've went back to doing it all, like every system on the vehicle. But originally, I was just metal work, rust repair, metal fabrication, customizing, panel fitment, paint and body, graphics, custom airbrushing, pinstriping, metal flake, lowrider paint jobs, stuff like that. That's that, and then they go and finish it. Well, here recently, I'd say in the last year or so, it's been me doing everything on the whole system. Everything. Every system on the vehicle, which is very, very consuming and very taxing. But it's also very rewarding too if you have a client that understands the magnitude of what you're doing, because a vehicle has over 100,000 systems and you're repairing every single one of them. A lot of people can't do that. There's a lot of people out there that there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, that's easy. Anybody can do it. Well, if everybody could do it, then everybody would do it. There's people that do it but don't do it right. I will say this. No, I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it to myself. I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it to myself. So what's my favorite part? My favorite time is in the paint booth. I love painting. That's like, I love painting. But I love getting there too. It's a pain in the ass. It's a labor of love to get there. But I would say the paint process. The problem is you learn a lot of that shit and then you're old. No, so let me, I'm gonna say it. There's a lot of things out there that people think they can do my job, but they can't do my job, but I can do your job and my job too. So, and they're gonna say, And then they're going to say, well, what's that supposed to mean? Well, it means this. If you're a suit and tie kind of person and you're in a business aspect of it, and let's say you are a real estate salesman or a car salesman, or you are a backhoe driver or a septic tank digger, or you pour concrete, or you are a brick mason, or you electrician, or you a carpenter, or you a truck driver, or whatever. I can do your job too and mine, and do it very well. That's what I'm talking about. You got doers, like Mr. Wick said. You got doers, and then you got talkers, right? There's a lot of people on YouTube that talk a lot of game. They talk like, oh yeah, I can do this, or I can do that, and I can do this, or I done that one time, or oh, I done this one time. And you know what else kills me? This is something else. People say, I'm the first one that done this on YouTube, or I'm the second one that done this on YouTube, or I'm the third one that ever done this on YouTube. Are you serious right now? Do you know how long YouTube's been around, and you're telling me you're the second person that's ever done this in YouTube? You might think you're the first person or the second person that's done it, but I assure you there's probably somebody out there that's done it before you. It just ain't on YouTube. But for you to claim that you're the first or second person that's done something on YouTube, that's asinine. That's narcissistic behavior, saying that nobody's done this before but me. Really? There's 6.8 billion people in the world, probably more than that now, and you're saying that you're the only person that's ever done that? I find that hard to believe. But you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. But I can pour concrete, I can lay block, I can lay brick, I can do electrician, I can do carpenter. I built my shop, poured the concrete, laid that brick, can run a backhoe, can run a bulldozer, can run a bobcat, can run a skid steer, can drive a truck, can back a truck, can do car salesman stuff. There's pretty much nothing I can't do and do it well. So the ones out there says, oh yeah, he talks a big game, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't talk it. I can do it. I can cook. You just don't see I cook online. I can cook. I can grow a garden. I can do it all. It's kind of funny because Build on a Budget said something about Big Fish. The other day, Big Fish's birthday, and he's talking about he does a lot of things. And that made me think a lot about Big Fish. The only thing I've never done is like do upholstery work. And the only reason why I don't do upholstery work is because I don't want to buy the machine. Not saying that I couldn't learn how to do it and do it well. I don't have no desire to add anything else to what I got going on. So there's 8.3 billion people in the world, and you think you're the only person or the second person that's ever done it? You are living in a fairy tale. Appreciate that, Ghost. There's a place for people like you, Alaska. Yeah, I'm going deer hunting here in the next little bit before the end of the season. So that's something else he's talking about. Build on a Budget was talking about Build on a Budget was talking about Big Fish. Fishing, cooking, camping, fishing, pressure cooking, putting up foods, processing meat, harvesting your own meats, doing all this other stuff. When you go out in your backyard and you got 2 plants in your backyard and you say, I'm a gardener, you're not a gardener. That's a hobbyist. When you plant 100 tomato plants in your front yard, call me and let me know. One year I got the wild hair up my ass to plant like a shitload of tomato plants. I planted 100, and I got pictures to prove it. I planted 100 tomato plants in my front yard. 100. That's not counting everything. 100 tomato plants. And they ended up being like 4 and 5 foot tall. I had so many tomatoes, it wasn't even, it was crazy, not counting everything else, because we put up stuff. 100 tomato plants. Crazy. So, with that being said, just want to say that. And there's another thing that is kind of interesting. You know how when you ever been in a relationship or a group of people or a part of something, and they say, "Well, man, you're the problem." All this started because you're the problem. Okay, fine. So, have you ever noticed if you remove yourself from the problem, so-called problem, and the people that you were with are still having the same problem they had when you wasn't there, and then if you rewind all the way back before you were even there, they were having the same problem before you was there, having the same problem while you were there, and the same problem after you were there. Newsflash, maybe that person that you thought was the problem is not the problem. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the problem. You know, maybe you're the problem. If the problem exists before somebody was there, and the problem exists while that person was there, and the problem exists after that person was not there, maybe that person wasn't the problem. Maybe you're the problem. That's like an alcoholic, a narcissistic alcoholic, or an abuser that abuses their spouse, whether it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter. They get drunk and they abuse their significant other, their spouse, while they're drunk. And then when they get sober, they apologize for what they did when they were drunk. But then they do the exact same thing over again the next time, and they use it, well, you know how I get when I get drunk. Or you know how it is when I get high, you know. The first time you do it, that's an excuse. Man, I made a bad choice. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. But if you do it again, again, that's a choice. You physically made a choice. That's narcissistic behavior. Oh. Back to what we was doing. So to answer your question, what's the favorite part of a car build? Seeing it come, seeing me paint it, and seeing it leave. Not in that particular order. So, not in that particular order. Not in that particular order. All right, let's get back to it. What's up, Gary? I didn't even see you slip in there, Gary. What's that say? From Babylon, Iraq, watching you. Happy New Year. Hey, Happy New Year to you too. Hey, I appreciate you spending time with me on your lunch break, Gary. People use me as an excuse to their problems all the time. That's okay. Like I said before, I'm gonna be unreachable and unstoppable. Boop. Oh, I gotta go to the store today. I gotta go to the stove. I gotta go to the stove before they close. I don't know, they might, I don't know what time they close today. Hey, I read an article. I read an article last night from a YouTube thing. An article. I read an article the other night from YouTube. It was in a magazine that they are looking how they monetize and they grant channels certain perks. And the reason why they're doing that is because there's so much AI content. There's so much content out there that's AI, that's not real content that people's making on YouTube, like videos and just all kinds of stuff, right? So YouTube is looking at that because there's been so many complaints of real people making complaints on YouTubers that have started these YouTube accounts or took their accounts and started putting AI content up and just going crazy, right? So people, like real people that have channels, are getting upset with YouTube because they're saying, hey, we're out here doing real stuff, real content, and working our asses off to do what we need to do to produce content, original content. And you got programs like that Soar and other AI contents that are just generating just fake AI content, computer generated content, and pushing people's channels up to the next level. And according to what I was reading, YouTube is taking it under advisement because YouTube at the end of the day is a business, right? It's a business. And if they got a bunch of people, real people that are complaining and talking about pulling their channels and going to other platforms like Instagram or Social Truth or TikTok or whatever, that is a dramatic hit. So YouTube is changing their algorithm and their AP software, and they said that they're looking into it. So I would say in the next probably 3 to 6 months, YouTube is probably going to change how they categorize channels that are not nothing but AI content. Because this one guy I was watching in this interview, this business interview, he said, how is it fair and how is it just if you've got like big YouTubers that end up getting their plaques, like 100,000 subscribers, and they worked for years to get that. And then you have somebody come in and starts a channel or takes their old channel, revamps their old channel into an AI channel and pushes their channel, which is all AI platform, and they get, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. They just start growing their channel because it's AI content, and they get up to 100,000 subscribers. That person shouldn't get the same as the other person that is actually out there working to get the content, because only thing they did was generate AI. I'm not going to disagree with them. I'm not going to disagree with them. I'm not going to disagree with him. So. YouTube is working with the CIA to keep an eye on y'all. I don't care. The CIA can come to my house. I ain't worried about it. I ain't got nothing to hide. So I thought that was an interesting interview that I watched. What's up? What's up, Barbara? Sanded. What? Well, let him stay over there. Huh? All right, Gary. All right, Gary. You have a Merry Christmas, Gary. I appreciate you spending your break time with me. What's up, Cars? Yeah, Gary, I appreciate you spending your 25-minute break time with me, man. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. You too, Gary. You too. All right, let me show you what I got going on. All right, so I had to clean up this right here where that hit into there. We kind of clean this lock mechanism up. This is a Altman's door latch system for a 68 C10 pickup truck, which gets rid of all the door latch system. This goes to a more modern latch system. Also, we got all the edges sanded down. We're getting it ready for final primer. I've already done all the body work, everything that needs to be done to the door. So this right here is fitted up really, really nice. Had to cut the door to make this fit. So that goes in there like that. A lot of people will cut this out and then weld this in solid, which you can do that as well. And all this will be welded in and it's one piece. Or you can, it's a bolt-in kit too. So you could actually put this in here like that and then cut this line right here and then push this in and weld this to that, and there's no seam all the way around, which you can do that. Or you can bolt it in because it's a bolting kit, like a DIY kit. You can bolt it in, and here's the lock mechanism, right? Then these 3 bolts take the lock mechanism out. This client wanted to bolt his in, and the reason why, because if you take these bolts out, then you can take the whole lock assembly out, and you can service it if you do that. That's what that is. Hold on a second, I'll answer your question here in a second. So that's that. So this door's done. This door's done, that door's done. The grill shell's done, the roll pan's done. The bumper is ready to take off to have it final 2K epoxy. I use solvent base. I can use water if I wanted to, but I use, so everything will get CRE 321 2K epoxy, and I'll mix it 2 to 1 to 1, which is a primer surfacer. If I mix it 2 to 1 1/2, it's a high build, and then I can mix it like 2 to 1 to 1 1/2 for like a sealer. I'm mixing this 2 to 1 to 1. Tomorrow is supposed to be like 70-some degrees here tomorrow, so I'm trying to get all these parts done so I can prime them or final prime them on Christmas Day. And that'll be said. And then once the doors are done, then what I'll do is I'll hang the doors to the truck and then 400 grit the cab and the doors, and then seam seal everything, and then get the truck in the booth and tape everything up and paint the cab and the doors at one time, at the same time. It's going black. And I'm using solvent. So it'll be straight, pure black, no toners, no nothing. A lot of people say, oh, my vehicle's black. Well, give me the paint code. And you give me the paint code, and there's like 19 other different colors in that black. This will be straight, pure 9300 toner black. The bed's already painted. So once I hang the doors, get the doors was already put on the truck, and the gaps were done. All the gaps, the door jambs, all that stuff was already done. Shaved off all the drip rails. 1/8-inch plate was added into the cab to bring the cab out to meet the door. The door was radiused. All this was filled in. All this was filled in with flat stock and rolled to this. The drip rails was cut completely off and welded up solid. So there's no drip rails. Now I have to come back in here and I'll finish sanding this. But there's no seams. He wanted all the seams welded up. So where this was spot welded to the cab, I welded all that up and smoothed all that seams out. So once I hang the doors, and get the doors back where they're supposed to go, and they shut and they lock, and the body lines are where they're supposed to be, I will drive the truck down in the booth and I will tape up, we'll back tape right here, and we'll back tape the doors, the back glass, we'll tape all that up, we'll tape the front of it up, so the only things exposed is the doors and the cab. And then what we'll do is everything will get wiped down really, really, really good with wax and grease remover. then it'll get wiped down with alcohol prep, and then it'll get wiped down with final prep. And then I'll seal the truck in G7, which is dark gray or black, dark gray, G7. It'll be sealed. Let that flash off for about 24 hours, and then come back in there and then put 3 coats of black, paint the jambs, the doors, all in one session. Paint everything, put 3 coats of black, and then probably put 5 to 6 coats of clear on the truck, and probably just put three coats of clear or 4 coats of clear in the jambs. So we'll do like 3 coats, 3 or 4 in the, we'll do like 3 or 4 coats in the jambs and 6 coats of clear on the outside of the cab. And then we'll go from there, and then we'll let it set. And then after everything's set for a pretty good while, we'll pull the truck out, let it gas off on some pretty days. The bed's already done. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut the back of the cab. We'll cut and water sand the back of the cab and the corners of the cab. Once all that's been cut and polished, then what we'll do is we'll set the bed on the truck and bolt it down. The bed's already been painted. And then while that's setting, doing that, we will paint the hood, the fenders, the grill, the radiators, or grill, the trim, the bumper, the roll pan. We'll paint all that off the truck because it's black, and it'll match because it's all black. And then once all that's done, then we'll pull the truck back into the booth, and we'll just let it sit there and gas off, and then we'll start assembling it and then cutting and polishing. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So that's where we're at on that. And in the meantime, we got the box truck, and then we got some other stuff. I got some new stuff coming in the new year. So y'all stay tuned for that. And then Monday, I'm supposed to get back with the exhaust shop on the Impala to see when to take the Impala to the exhaust shop to get the exhaust put on it and finish it up. So that's where we're at on that. This truck right here is it's a TKM 60408 stroker, and it's a 5-speed manual. So I appreciate you, boys and girls. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Remember what I said. Don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first at Lucy. Oh, hold on a second. Remember I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first at Lucy and drag pieces and chingers them out.